All right, folks. We are live on. Let's see. We're live on 4 platforms right now. We've been live before on. Oh shit! Let me just turn off the double sound here. Before we've been live on Twitter, YouTube. Recently we also added Kick, and very recently we also added Twitch to that. So I'm just trying my best, folks. What can you do? I am I'm on a quest to see if we can, well, if I can contribute to more people getting in touch with Solana NFTs. And I would invite anyone to engage with me, either call me out on my shit or have me look at their art or anything in between. So let me just share this one. Real quick. The earlier, I believe it was yesterday and the day before, we actually had a decent amount of viewers. I believe at some point we were having 200 viewers, which is, I mean, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? For NFTs being supposed to be dead. So far we have 4 already. That's awesome. I hope all of you are having a great weekend, or one last day at work before you can get to celebrate a weekend a little bit. And in the meantime, as the proper autist I am, right? I'll just discuss NFTs, because you know what? I don't have a life, folks. This is my life. Discussing art, discussing communities, etc., etc. This is basically my passion in these things. So let's get started. And to kick things off, right? I kind of wanted to start off with medievals. I'm a holder of medievals. I am a fan of medievals. I think this art looks dope. I think it's very unassuming. I think it's fun. I think it's one sec. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of unassuming, right? On the one hand, it's just a regular dude with wearing a hoodie and these fucking ugly frog eyes. And on the other hand, it's just a flesh wound sticking right through its chest, right? So, anyways, I saw a message earlier. I'm not quite sure where, but I saw it to where I think it was Top Blaster. Top Blaster is a DGOTS holder as well. And basically, he said hey, thank you for buying the NFT, yada yada yada. Little did I know that one of the premier traits within medievals NFTs has only been sold for what, 3.4x the floor. I mean, are you kidding me, guys? Hey, Echo Ghost Lab, shout out to you. I think this is one of the premier traits within medievals, right? Very reminiscent to the divine rope within the DGOTS NFT. And I mean, come on, at this price point, I kind of feel like this should be traded at a 5 Solana at the very least. Anyways, I hope it works out for like seller and buyer. I think like the buyer did like a really good purchase at this level, because like fact is like these are some of the trades which are not being what's it called, like they're basically not being let go at these levels all too much, right? Don't mind me like sharing the chat a little bit. Just want to make sure I get like as many people in as I possibly can. Boom, that's one. And now the other one somewhere. But anyways, like on the medieval side, like I think the buyer probably did like a really good move. We had like a discussion earlier on how basically medievals are more dominated in the field of like close and trades, etc., more than anything else. So yeah, I mean, like, bear with me. Hypothetically, if that would be correct, right? Like, if this is going to be like one of like the very, very, very best trades, kind of looks like a sweet deal. Plus, from a purist point of view, right? Hypothetically, like if you're into like this kind of art, which I happen to be, which I happen to collect, I think this is cool. I mean, like I mentioned this like a few times, like it's very much at Hardy-esque. It's very much like fun. On the one hand, it's just like a cool dude with the sunglasses, and on the other hand, like he's wearing some kind of I mean, like the trade is called Merlin's Cloak, right? So I think it's a cool one. I think it's a good one. If you want to get into like medievals, then like this is one of the premier pieces, and that's kind of it, dude. So yeah, congrats to seller, congrats to buyer. I do kind of feel that the buyer did like a better job than the seller here. But yeah, who am I to judge, right? Like I'm just like a retarded guy who likes cats. So anyways, having said that, right, like maybe like it's a good time to basically elaborate a little bit on medievals, right? Like they are from the founders, not really the founders, like they're from the designers of DGOT's art, right? And this is like their next big thing, right? Like medievals, like you can see like very clearly they have like quite some experience from or like quite some inspiration drawn from the DGOT's brand, if you will. I mean, let me just show you. These are the one-on-ones. These are obviously not really DGOT related, but I kind of don't want to like talk about like the orgs because like they're kind of like a sub NFT line within the medieval line. But let me just like get to the original collection first. For anyone who might be interested in this, like I've made like a few videos on medieval, the best mythic traits within medievals, together with like the Horde DAO leader, if you will. I made like a trait list or like a tier list on the org trades. So yeah, like feel free to just like go to my YouTube channel. You can get there through the link tree, which is added to my Twitter bio. You can just like navigate yourself to there. But like I think like it's fairly easy to basically get the hang of it because of that. But yeah, I mean like this is some of like the premier trades, right? Like this is kind of what Medievals is about. Very simplistic and kind of mid on the other hand, right? Like their biggest focus right now is like the burning mechanism, to where they essentially what they do is they want to challenge people, challenge their holders into burning on the one hand, which would result in basically well, whatever in several kind of events, right? Like some are on chain, like the orgs. Like at some point you had to burn 2 medievals and then you got yourself 1 org. And at another point, like they had like the Ghost Star figurine, which is still to be sent. We are not forgetting, Candy. We are yet to receive the Ghost Stars. But on the other hand, like they also had like the art, for example, real life paintings, which have been absolutely fucking cool, absolutely amazing. So rather than having like some kind of a moonshot, right, that's part of their roadmap, they prefer to bank very much on these kind of mini events, which are just cool. And like in the meantime, a bunch of their collection gets burned, right? I do kind of feel, and like even though like I'm a holder in this one, and I like the project a lot, I do kind of feel like there's like a little bit room for improvements. I actually like gave some like suggestions on this. When the focus is like this much on the burning side of things, I do kind of feel that like the overall appreciation for the art gets like a little bit, well, I think like the art is like a little bit underappreciated, right? Because if you're like me, if you're like a retarded guy who likes cats, I wouldn't say like retarded, but like definitely autistic, I like to get my hands on like these kind of things. I think like this one is like very cool, but like it's just an example, right? Like if you're getting into Pokemon cards, you probably want to get like that PSA 10 created Charizard more so than just a uncommon Pikachu. And I do kind of feel that with the burning mechanisms, people value the quantity more than the quality. Drum roll, take your time. Okay. So yeah, I mean like this one, for example, right? Like this is a proper grill. Like this orc only has like, there's only one, what's it, this one called? Purple drink in the entire collection. And with a floor price this low, I do kind of feel that it probably makes sense for this to be like a little higher. But yeah, I mean, like, who am I to yap, right? I mean, like, if you're just looking at facts more so than my personal opinion, price-wise, it's been like pretty good. Nothing too crazy, but like good. They minted about like, I think 0.3 or 0.4, something like that. And upwards, downwards, and we're kind of ranging. I think like that's fair to say, right? We're ranging between mint price and like 2x mint price, essentially, which is not bad. Mr. Champ is saying, by the way, shout out to you, Mr. Champ. Notorious grill collector as well. Purple drink is undervalued. Um, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, right? I don't think it's undervalued at 20x floor price. Just saying. I do think it's correctly valued though, if I'm being honest. Right? Like, oops. I do think it's somewhere like correctly valued because like the floor price is kind of low. So that makes that like the prices for grills are like what, a little bit higher compared to the floors, right? Which is fine. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Oh, there you go, Mr. Champ. Like that's a good one. You should like fucking take it off like the secondaries. No one's gonna buy it. Like you should like trust me with this one. I don't think like anyone is going to buy it, and by the time they will, rather have you like joining me upstage here, for example, and like talk about like why this is a good one to begin with and why it's undervalued. But yeah, like to your point, I do kind of feel that, man, I appreciate the kind words. I'm trying my best to upload like several videos a day, and go live. Like I'm doing my best to basically go live as much as I can, really. But yeah, like Mr. Champ, I'm just gonna call a spade, like 13.33 when the floor price is like 77 or 67 0.67 Solana. I mean, like that's not cheap, brother. But like it's a good one. There's an argument to be made that this is a 1 out of 1, right? 886 is asking me check 228 so clean. Well, let's go. You mean the orc or this one, the gold one? I think it's clean. But you know what, guys? Like, I've actually had like if Candy Apple would be tuning into this, I actually made like a suggestion to the team, which I think would elevate the art by a long shot. Gold mechanic, yeah, it's cool. But you know what? Like, you guys will not. I think that the medieval art is underappreciated. First off, because of the burning mechanism, to like where a lot of people care more so about like floors more than anything else, but like that's kind of what it is. There's another part though, to where I believe quite like a lot of things can be, perception can be won from anyone who would be interested in this. And let me show you guys. Fuck, give me like a second. This is going to take like a little bit. Bear with me. Mint example. This one is going to be worth your wait. I got a thesis that medievals are too small, and I actually quite confident that it's right, and it would help medievals to basically enlarge their characters. One sec. mid. I think I have it. Okay, like it's taking like a little bit. But bear with me. I know like it's taking a little bit, guys. Give me a sec. Nearly there. Because like I think like the good part about this is that it's going to be like really apparent with what I'm saying and how it will basically amplify people to give more shits on about like the medieval art. Let's see. Nearly there. Okay, I think I got it. Let me 8866. Let me just like get to you like in a little bit. We will check out 4411. Happy to check what your forever profile picture would be with regards to medievals. But first off, like we gotta see if this will be better, right? Boom. Okay. Bear with me, folks, because like you're gonna get it right now. So this is a medieval, right? It kind of is what it is. This is your D-God, right? You can prefer one or the other, but objectively, the D-God is a lot better when you take like a look at it. Or like not better, it's bigger. I'm just an autistic European, guys. Bear with me. So anyways, like you might ask yourself like, hey, cat guy, like I don't care. Why should I care? Let me tell you, folks. Because when you are browsing sensor like this, that means, by the way, let me just like fucking remove like a few things. And let's add one little thing. When you're browsing Tensor and Magic Eden like this, on the DGOTs it looks like this, right? Boom. Boom. So if you would like reshape this shit to where they're like the same size, look at the difference. And I think if there will be a way to where like the team would kind of redo the visuals like a little bit to where there's less blank space, I think more people would like enjoy the art. I really do. Because it's easier to see, right? And to prove my point, I mean, like, how would anyone, I mean, like, visibility is kind of key, right? Like, look, let's just say it like it is. I think it would help. I think it would help a lot. And fact is, if we see like the premier fucking trade being traded for absolute floor prices, it kind of proves my point. Now, like, the downside would be that you might not see like the entirety of it, right? Like, it could be that you would miss like a little bit of the cape, or you would miss like a little bit of like the blank space here, or like some of the stars here. But you know what? Like, we all gotta make sacrifices. I think it would like help like the overall cost, really. I think it would help the overall visibility. So anyways, not complaining, just a suggestion. Do with it what you will. I believe like this looks amazing. I also believe that it kind of looks small. That's it. Anyways, let's go to 4411. Boom. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, like, the fun part about that one, right? Like, that is exactly what medievals are about, like, kind of mid, right? Like, you have like these fucking Ed Hardy-esque mediocre kind of drawing style, right? With like the Merlin's beard, like stars flying around and like pointing like a gun right at your face. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. Like, it's kind of mid. I like it a lot. I really do. That's a great pick. True, definitely a Merlin gangster. We should probably also have like a talk on like the way like the fucking the mint community is like fumbling like so many choices, right? So basically they have like Primevals going on, which is a free mint, which will be a part of the medievals. I mean, bear with me. At the end of the day, like, it will be like a part of like the medievals collection. Basically, by locking up / training your mint, which is just like their staking mechanism, you are enabling yourself to basically get a mint of the Primevals. This mint will not be quote unquote real. I mean, like, it's a real mint, but like the downside to it is that 95% of all of the NFTs minted will be burned, right? Randomly. So you might just wake up one day and your NFT will be burned. How you can basically prevent that from happening would be to burn two of your mints to save one of your primes. Very, very, very similar to what's it called? To the orcs. They had like a very similar mechanic there. Let's see. One sec. Boom. But yeah, I mean, like, are you fucking kidding me, guys? Like, whenever you have like the opportunity to like vote either like Lizard Prime or like Bird Prime, like, I have no clue. I have no clue what one thinks when they're voting this one rather than this one. Now, like the big one is like, did I vote myself? No. But that's not the point, guys. I need to be able to shit on others. I will not take any responsibility there. All jokes aside, so yeah, that was the first one. The second vote was probably like my favorite vote, with Punk Prime or Chiller. I think, like, honestly, right, like, let's just call a spade a spade. If any one of these would have been, I mean, like, both of them are winners, right? Like, you can personally like or dislike the art, that's perfectly fine. Who am I to judge? But hypothetically, like, if you're into like this art style, then more than likely you're gonna like both of them, or at least like I do. Ice Prime versus Scylla Prime. I think this one is like, these ones are pretty cool. But I mean, so bear with me on this fucking next one, because I mean, like, I just see like the vote has ended. We might as well like be happy with the fact we got it over with. So the community voted for this one rather than this one. I mean, like, this either looks like an uncircumcised thick, or just like an asshole. I think, I mean, like, this one is, I kind of like this one, I'm not gonna lie. But like, you know what, like, as Henry Ford said, right, like, I don't care what kind of car, like, the customer wants, as long as it's black. Maybe you don't want to give like too many people an option. That's just my idea on these things, man. But yeah, on to the next, right? So having said that, this might be an opportunity for acquiring some of like the coolest grills out there, right? If you're wondering about medieval grills, then I mean, like, rather than me just like talking about it like right here, right now, you can go to my YouTube, which is, I believe, linked on my bio. I think it's youtube.com/the NFT Cat. Is it though? Fuck. youtube.com/the NFT Cat. I'll take it. Good enough. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm definitely bullish on these guys. Like, I think like they're one of the better starting NFTs out there. I really do. Based on like the track record, right? Like, these guys have designed DGOTs earlier, which is obviously a huge accomplishment from a designer's point of view or perspective, and also from like a industry purist point of view. They seem to be dealing really well with like criticism. I co-host like these weekly town halls with them, and the way I respect them a lot is in the fact that they seem responsive to criticism, and basically like they make they adjust course based on that. Wiz Twitter says, follow my Twitter, please. I'll subscribe to you. My Twitter username is sorry dude, like I'm streaming. You either want to follow me or you don't. But appreciate you engaging with me. Do I know the story of exiled DGOTs? Halfly, probably no. I believe like that was their first version, and then it pretty much got halted, right? I must say though, I really don't care that much about like exiled DGOTs, just because I know it's not. So whenever I would say like it's a derivative, like you have like exiled DGOT holders being like, hey, like no, it's not the derivative, it's like the original one. But I mean, whatever you want, right? Like, but yeah, like I'll give them credits on this part though. I do think like they add to like the DGOT's lore. But I also think that they're not the real DGOTs. Whatever one was first, right? So yeah, that's me. On DGOTs though. Let's see. I mean mints. No active listings. I find that hard to believe. Let's see about the floor, right? If we would be spending 50, if we would be sweeping 50 NFTs, that would make us spend 38 Solana, which would make the price increase by not that much. The reason why I'm saying this though, I mean, like if you're doing this to Utes, if you're sweeping like 50 Utes right here, right now, the price pretty much doubles. How do you know? Let me share you. Sweep 50 NFTs for 72 Solana. Floor price right now is 1.14. 50 ahead, we are at a floor price of 1.9. So that's nearly doubling it. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad at all. Really. I mean, right, like looking at this, like this is either going to be like another field rally, right, to where people are like, oh my god, no, it's never gonna be a thing anymore. Very much the depression stage. But there's also like a possibility to where like after like a little bit, NFTs might have finally fucking waken up, being at their all-time low versus what's it called, versus the US dollar. I think that's pretty much what is making NFTs rally right now. And I would not be surprised if we're gonna attack like these levels, right? For those who are saying like technical analysis doesn't work on NFTs, it literally works on everything in life. NFTs are not excluded. And I mean, like, I'm not in a position to like advise anyone financially, right? I literally am just like a guy who likes cats, who's collecting NFTs. Do with that what you will. But assuming that I'm semi-retarded and like I'm just like a delusional bulltard, I do kind of feel that this looks more like a bottom than it does like a top, right? Quite confident in that. So yeah, anyways, like the other day I've already like gone through Utes a little bit. I think Utes are cool. I think they are the SMB generation 3 to what to SMB Gen 2. They relate to SMB Gen 3 as in SMB Gen 2, kind of like SMB DGOTs relate to Utes in a way, but I guess like better, because thank God we don't have voting rights to begin with. 886 is saying usually Bitcoin cycles are 3 years up and 1 year down. Maybe the NFT cycle will prove out to be 3 years down and 1 year up. I mean, fuck me, might as well, right? I'll tell you this much, man. I don't believe this market is dying one bit. You have like many collectors who are still like viciously scooping up their favorite NFTs, right? And you gotta understand that a hollow Charizard didn't just like instant port to like 100k plus, right? These things take time. Pokemon cards like did not go all that well initially, and here we are. All right. I mean, like, Winstrer just like keeps on fucking asking people to follow. Oh, there you go, man. In other news, man, like fucking NFTs. Yeah, I mean, I like Utes. I like them a lot. I actually made like a video earlier today on basically what's it called, on the fact that people are like spending like a lot of money on EGOT skrills right now, right? Like basically several mamas have been sold, several mythic skins have been sold, etc. And I made like the comparison with the fact that like the best matlat recently got sold. And before like anyone thinks that I am shitting on matlats, I'm literally not. I really think they are like, if not the best blue chip on Solana. I'm just not a holder. I prefer DGOT's art. What are you gonna do? I think they're great. I think their utility is great. I think their founder is great. I think the community is great. But I'm more of a DGOT than a matlat. Cannot argue personal preference, guys. You can't. Even though I do think they're awesome. But having said that, their 1 out of 1 was sold, and like it's objectively like the best matlat there is. It got sold for such a low amount. It got sold for like 150 or like 140, which is just like stupid, right? Because this is great art. Arguably some of the best art on Solana, this particular piece. But interesting food for thought, and like this is the part where like some people absolutely lost their minds. Like many people are on their period these days. This is not me shitting on matlats when I'm telling you that this price has been like really underwhelming. If I'm looking at this one, right, I would expect a piece like this, which is again objectively the very best matlat out there. I think it should be worth somewhere around what, 15 to 25x floor price. easily, not 7. I think a lot of people would agree with me. I think like this is like the premier and the very best matlat in existence. Allegedly, and I'm not sure if I'm mistaken on this though. I believe that before like matlats minted, there was like some kind of a mini game to where you had to like defeat the Mat King, and like, oh, guess who's the Mat King? Like this guy right here. I think that's underwhelming for that to be where the transaction found place. I think that's kind of nuts. What I also think is that with DGOTS, the community is like spending a shitload on its grills, right? I think like 7x floor price is pretty much like being spent on, well, several times a week kind of thing at the very least, like pretty much daily. Let's get to some of like the ones which were sold earlier. Word of caution, I obviously wasn't there when the transactions found place, so I don't know about the exacts, but I do kind of know that, well, for what prices they did not sell, right? Looking at this one, for example, absolutely great piece. I'm rather confident that this one was sold somewhere between 6 and 9x the floor price. And don't get me wrong, like this is one of the best pieces within DGOTS, but definitely not the best piece within DGOTS, right? Let's go to another one. I believe it is this one. This one was sold by someone I consider a friend. I still don't really know how to like pronounce his name, but like I believe it's Apinstein, something like that. Anyways, like this one has been sold. Some of the very, 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 very best Nebula skins. Like it's really clean. It's awesome. I think Nebula skins are, if not like the very best skins within the entire collection, right? Arguably. Yeah, true. 886 is saying like DGOTS back in the days where the floor price was thousands of sol. Yeah, true. Let's go to that. Let me finish first though. I'm quite confident this one was sold for around like the 7x floor price mark, if I were to guess. 886 point is basically that back in the day, DGOTS were being sold at like thousands of Solana, which is absolutely true. Like over 2,000. And again, folks, like if you were bullish on DGOTS at this point, you might as well be bullish at DGOTS at this point. Man, with Twitter, you should stop begging people to follow you. Respectfully, dude. I do like, so where am I wrong on this, right? Obviously, like the original founder has fucked off, being frank. It's been taken over, co-led by 2 team members, which are doing a decent job, right? But like it's definitely like the post Frank era, as 886 is saying. Like vibes were insane. DGOTs were just like a fucking marketing machine to where everyone and their mom was losing their minds about them, right? But yeah, connected to like compared to Pokemon cards right now, do you want to like buy stuff when like everyone and their mom is excited about it, or do you want to position before the hype gets in to basically enjoy the ride up, right? I prefer the latter. I really do. But yeah, again, like considering like you're bullish on NFTs, which I happen to be, I think like these are like some great moments to get yourself like an allocation, or at least like that's what I'm doing myself. And yeah, having said that though, right, maybe like one more point I kind of want to prove is that I know if we're talking about like one out of ones, DGOTs does have their one out of ones, being like the Medusas. I think like those are some of the best traits in the entire collection, right? You have, where's it? Head. Medusa. There you go. This one recently got sold to a guy who's absolutely, I mean, like people are like hoarding these things, man. Right now, like grills aren't being sold at these levels. Like people are paying like a lot of money for the grills. 9225. Let's see, 9225. Rank 10 DGOT. One of the very best one, right? Like this is definitely like a double mythic, but you know, like I kind of feel like the Medusa, like they count for two. This is where the money is at, right? The second or like the third season is just like absolutely nuts, in my opinion. Right? Like the third season is where I mean, just have a look for yourself. If you would just like 1 second. The third season is pretty much like one out of one because like the artwork is voice crack. The artwork is like very, I mean, like the palette is like very different for each and every one of them. The color palette, that is. I mean, you cannot argue personal preference, folks. I think like this is some of like the most amazing art on Solana. Kinda nuts, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, for now, that's going to be like it. I will be back like at a later stage, like in a few hours, because, well, again, like folks, like I'm quite literally right now, I'm just like testing to where it makes sense for people to just like, well, when I need to stream, right? Like when, like what is resonating people, what is not resonating with people. Later on, I will have a stream on whatever DGOTs make sense at like this price point. If there's any other NFTs you would like me to have like a look at, feel free, engage with me. Would be awesome if I can get like follow, like, subscribe, like all the good stuff. And that's it. I will speak to you guys later. And if not, I wish every single one of you a good weekend. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you guys like in a few hours. Bye.